My name is Mark Soto. I'm the Executive Director of the Honor Bowl. And I cannot tell you how honored we are to have Helix back in this event. You've been in it before. Some of you guys probably don't remember, but we love it. As far as we're concerned, your school represents San Diego, and we love it. I want to tell you the story of why you're in this event. I want you to feel it in your hearts. I want you to feel it in your bodies as to why you're here. Back in 2010, I had a son that served for the U.S. Marine Corps. Now, what we would do when my son would go on deployments is we would come down to San Diego and we'd buy the Marines a keg of beer and say, guys, go get some. This one was different. My son never told me where he was going until that party. We arrived at the party. We got all the Marines together. All the wives are there. All the families are there. We're just having a good time. And then he takes me by the arm and he says, Dad, let's go take a walk. And we take a walk and he puts his arm around my shoulder and he says, Dad, I want you to know where I'm going. We're going to a place called Sing in Afghanistan. Do yourself a favor. Don't Google it. What do you think I did? Immediately Googled it. And I find out that he's going to the area of the Helmand province in Afghanistan where the British Royal Marines were there. And over 100 of them were killed. Over 1,000 of them were wounded by losing their legs. And that's where my son was going. A few days later, he was arriving at that base. And as he was arriving in the base, he told me later, Dad, as we were arriving, we were surrounded by white flags and we could hear pinging coming off our helicopter. They were arriving in the safety of their base and they were getting shot at. The white flags, what do we think about when we think of white flags? Surrender? Not to the Taliban. The Taliban would put these sheets on the ground and with black spray paint, would spray paint, death to the Americans, death to the infidels. That's you and I, guys. That's where they landed. A few days later, a patrol leaves. The first patrol out. It's driving out, and as it gets around a mile away, they hear this boom! Oh my God, what happened? What happened? The boom was so loud that it shook them a mile away. The Marines were radioing to the patrol. What's going on? Are you guys okay? No response back. So they mount up, they leave the base, they go to get out there. There was a bomb explosion that blew up under the Humvee. The bomb was so big that it lifted the Humvee off the ground, twisted it like a corkscrew, and 4 Marines were instantly killed. A few days later, I get a call at home in Sacramento, California. Coach, something happened to my neighbor. Something's happened to their kid. Your son's a U.S. Marine, right? Something happened. There's Marines here and I heard crying and Come to find out later that their son was killed. I got to know the family. Their son played football for me. They were on the way to get their son's body and they said, Coach, will you eulogize our son when we get home? I said, I'd be honored to eulogize your son. I eulogized him and then watched him buried in the ground. A few days later, I get a call from my son in Afghanistan. Dad, son, are you okay? You okay? Dad, the colonel's telling me that a coach eulogized Victor Dew. Was that you, Dad? Yes, son, that was me. He goes, Dad, I was there. I cut him out of the vehicle. Changed my life, guys. Changed it forever. As a football coach, as a father, as a dad, I had to do something to get back. And that's what became of the Honor Bowl. That's what started this event. I partnered with my friend Rick Sutter. I partnered with Gold Star mom, Patty Schumacher, whose son is Victor Dew. We all came together. We formed a bond that exists to today. This is the Honor Bowl. by the spirit of your athleticism, by you guys playing a football game, by your fans coming. This is your way of giving back to the men and women that have fought, bled, and died for our freedom. That is the Honor Bowl. Now I want you to meet a 3-5 Marine. His name is Gunny Sergeant Freddie Torres. Let's give it up for him.
Good afternoon. What a tremendous honor and privilege to stand in front of you today. And I want to start out with saying thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming out here again and continuing to play and honor those 25 faces, those 25 Marines that did not make it home on that 2010 deployment to Afghanistan. So again, thank you. I'm going to share a story with you that can somewhat correlate, or you can take back with you, of somebody that I know. While you're facing adversity and your challenges, you're out on the football field, you're out at home, you're facing a situation, and hopefully it reaches one of you to overcome it. So I'm going to fast forward to 2010, December 30th, on that deployment, just a couple months after those 4 Marines were killed on October 13, 2010. December 30th, 2010, there was a squad of Marines out on patrol. They had pushed out in the morning. They were out for about 3-4 hours. About 20 Marines. They're on their way back after patrolling for about 3-4 hours, gathering information, talking to local nationals, and they're making their way back into the patrol base, the base where they live at. Now, the back end of that patrol, one of the Marines stepped on an IED, an improvised explosive device, a roadside bomb. Luckily, only a small portion of that bomb went off. It shattered that Marine's foot. It broke his ankle. So got him in the truck, got him in a helicopter, got him stateside, recovered. He's fine. But now there's pieces of that roadside bomb still out there that the Marines have to go blow in place. If not, the Taliban will take it and reuse it on the Marines. So a team of 4 goes back out there with a stick of demolition, C4. They place it on the floor. They're about to blow it when the Taliban opens up from the east. They open up. 3 of the Marines run one direction to an alleyway where there's a wall for them to get covered. And the sergeant, the squad leader, picks up his rifle and starts suppressing back towards the east where the Taliban were ambushing them from. About 20 meters down, there was a divot with the waist-high wall where that squad leader was going to run, get behind, and suppress, get some cover. Well, when he got to the ditch, he fell on his back, and he tried to raise up, and he looked up. He was covered in red. Blood all over his pants. He had been shot. Here comes one of the Marines that went to the other side of the wall, under fire, comes over, runs to him, slide on his knees, takes his seatbelt cutter scissors off, cuts off his pants, immediately blood gushing out. Femoral artery had been hit after being shot twice, once on each leg. Now, that Marine started patching him up, applied gauze, applied a tourniquet. A couple minutes later, calls that squad with the stretcher to come out and pick up that squad leader. That squad comes out, they put him on a stretcher, they count to 3 to pick him up and suppress the enemy again. They pick him up, they're making their movement back into the patrol base, and that squad leader, the sergeant that's on the stretcher, picks up his hand to his best friend that's to his left and says these last words to him on the battlefield. Tell my mom I love her, and tell my boys I'm sorry. And he squeezes the hand of that other squad leader and he says, tell my mom I love her, and tell my boys I'm sorry. Were the last words he said on the battlefield. Where they put him on the truck, put him on a helicopter, brought him back stateside, here to San Diego, California, where he started the recovery. Now let me tell you the backside of that story that can apply to you. January 2011, as he's laid up on a hospital bed, the doctors told him, you're losing your leg, it's getting amputated, there's too much nerve damage. By the way, you're getting medically retired and you're never going to be able to run or walk the same way again. That sergeant squad leader took that adversity, that challenge, and he challenged the medical staff and he said, by the time the squad gets back that saved my life, mid-April, I will be standing there receiving them on my own 2 feet, not medically retired, not leg amputated. And I share that story with you because on April 15, 2011, I stood there on the bottom of that stair mat When the plane landed, they put down the staircase. I stood at the bottom and I hugged every single one of those individuals that saved my life on December 30th. But the doctor told me that my leg was going away. The doctor told me that I'm medically getting retired and that I'm never going to be running or walking again the same way I used to. And I accepted that for a couple of days, and I sat there in petty and depressed and anxiety and all these other feelings. And I finally came to the realization I can take this as a failure, or I can take it as I failed at something. I'm going to dust myself back up, get up, learn from it, recover, and do something great with it. Because there's a difference between being a failure and failing at something. Now, I could have accepted everything that was put on the table, but I wasn't going to accept being a failure. And to me, that's what it was. So I picked it up and ran with it. And I used to say to myself, that was luck. I made it out because I trained my squad so dang well that they knew what to do at the moment of action. And I was a fool, big time fool. Because that wasn't my squad, that wasn't coincidence, that wasn't luck, that was God keeping me around. That was my Lord and Savior that kept me for a purpose, and potentially it being to stand here 13 years later in front of you, that hopefully one of you can apply this challenge and adversity that I've faced and place it to your life. And not just on the football field, but out in life. Your careers, school, your parents, your relationship. Fill in the blank. Some of you might be going through something right now. You have the option of failing or being a failure. Thank you again for coming out here and playing. And you may not have realized it before we walked into this locker room, but now that we've given you the story in the background that's more than just a football game, honor those 25 that are out there that are no longer with us. Somebody's son, somebody's brother, somebody's dad, somebody's husband. A combination of everything plus more on those pictures. So again, thank you for coming out here and honoring those Marines, playing this game. God bless every single one of you. Thank you.
Real quick. Sergeant Major. Yep. Sergeant Major, you have a few words?
Oh, absolutely.
Real brief, sir.
I'm going to keep this in 60 seconds. Look, I'm just going to cap everything you say at the end of the day. 2 lessons I learned, either playing sports in high school or just being a Marine for 23 years. 1, it's easy to do line stuff, but you got to be prepared to do it when it's the time of battle, right? What you're about to do right now is do line stuff. And that's tamed into attitude, right? The attitude you display on that field is going to propel you to that victory at the end of it. Which leads me to point number 2. The victory that you're about to go on has already been determined months before by all the hard work, dedication, everything you've done. Now I want you to take 1 second, look to your left and your right now. What you're about to do is to support your brother to the left or right of you right now. It's the exact same thing we do in the military. We cover each other. What you guys heard today from the 2 gentlemen was explaining to you that at the end of the day, we never leave anybody behind. And that's what the Honor Bowl is about today, is remembering those that serve and keeping their spirits alive. And out on that battlefield, when you win today, you're going to make sure that you honor their memory and make everybody realize how special the United States of America really is. So go out there, win, do it for the brothers to the left and right of you, and good luck today, gentlemen.
Sergeant Major, I'll carry on. Who is the man that's going to have the honor of carrying the flag through the tunnel today?
Let's go. We're going to go Daniel Larcina.
All right. So when it's time for us to announce you through the tunnel after your guys' warm-ups, all right? You're getting ready to come through the tunnel. You're going to be leading your team. I'm going to hand you the flag, all right? When you get into that tunnel, make sure your team comes in behind you, okay? Because it's big. Get the smoke going, get the lights going, and get that flag waving. Get it going. Whoop it up. Have some fun. There's a lot of media here that I have their pictures, okay? Have some fun with that, okay, guys? At the end of the game, one of you will be winning the Character Award winner, and one of you, and the Character Award winner is voted on by the coach. The MVP is selected by the media in attendance. And then we will be giving your coach the 2023 Honor Bowl trophy, right? Yeah! asking, we do that on the 50-yard line. And what we are asking that after we give you those awards, all right, the character and the MVP and the head coach, please go over to the trophy center. The coaches will sign the helmets and the athletes will sign the footballs. Got it? All right, one more thing. There is a piece of art that has been crafted by Chief Joe Pisano. It's an artwork that the character, MVP, and head coach will place a screw in. This is an artwork that has been created for John Lynch of the San Francisco 49ers, and we plan on presenting it to him at the end of the Honor Bowl games for their support of this event. So just remember that, okay? Guys, Coach, these are decals. Please give one of those to every one of your athletes. Please let them put one on the back of their helmets. We love seeing them in pictures, and we love seeing them when you guys go deep into the CIF championships. All right? Hands up. Bring it in. Bring it in. Come on, Freddie. The 3-5 have a saying, and that's get some. When I say 3-5, I want you to yell get some at the top of your lungs. 3-5!
Get some!
3-5!
Get some!
3-5!
Get some!
Oh, go get some, guys. Let's go. Come on. With head coach the Major Johns. It is a memorial of the soldier killed in action. It also signals a time for prayer, a breaking the action being tribute to our friend and hero. Placing the rifle is the United States Marine, Sergeant Major Lewis Ortega, Marine Recruiting Station, San Diego. Combat boots represent the final march of the soldier's last battle. Placing the boots is Gold Star sister, Nicole Day Lamora, honoring her brother, U.S. Army Specialist Matthew Hudson-Heiser, who died on the service on June 12, 2011. The helmet is also a symbol of this great sacrifice. The helmet is used by U.S. Marine Gunnery Sergeant Freddie Torres, drill instructor at Marine Corps Recruiting Depot, San Diego. Gunnery Sergeant Torres is a Purple Heart recipient, was wounded in action in the helmet conflict of Afghanistan in 2010. Stanley Plank is the U.S. Marine Gunnery Sergeant Jared McCarthy, Recruiting Association, San Diego, honoring his cousin, U.S. Army Staff Sergeant Christopher Swanson, killed in action July 22, 2006, Ramadi, Iraq. Dog tags identify the names, soldiers' names, so he will never be forgotten. Place tags are Gold Star parents Tom and Patty Schumacher, who are honoring their son, U.S. Marine Lance Corporal Victor Duke, 20, Brandon Bay, California. He was assigned to the 3rd Battalion of the Marines, Camp Pendleton, and was killed in action October 13, 2010, in the 2nd District of the Helmand, Afghanistan. The dog tag is placing on the rifle are the actual tags that Victor wore when he was killed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, while you're still standing, and our nobles, our families, and military members are centered on the 50-yard line, we would like to acknowledge our youth fallen heroes from the tragic Osprey crash in Melville, Island, Australia, during the Joint International Training in August of 2023. No family ever wants to become a Gold Star family because it's a title that we At this time, we will honor our new three heroes by remembering to say their names. I will say their name individually, and we will direct you when you repeat. After, we will have a moment of silence, followed by crying taps. Corporal Spencer R. Collins. Say, Spencer Collins. Spencer Collins. Captain Eleanor B. LeBeau. Say, Eleanor LeBeau. Major Tobin J. Lewis. Say, Tobin Lewis.
Precinct up.
Can you see by the dirty line what's so proudly held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose motions and bright stars through the perilous night, o'er the ramparts we march, were so gallantly streaming. And the rugged red light upon singing through the night, that our flag was soothing. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the
Captains, come on in, shake hands, introduce yourselves.
Gentlemen, welcome to the Honor Bowl. This is the helmet for today's game. Shuffling in for the Honor Bowl. With the helmet, shake hands. With the American flag, shake hands. Red mounted, we're going to call the top. We're going to call. Bells into the call. That's it. It's the 12s are going to call.
The ball. Which way do you guys want to kick? From the clock. Red mounts a pitcher back to goalpost there. Watch out for this side. Helix. Go ahead, pitcher.
I want the sun in the house.
Red Mountain won the toss. It's the further option to the second half. Helix will receive.
Come back, shake hands, have a great game.
Injured, ill, and wounded vets that have given so much for our freedom. I want to focus your attention to the center of the field. These dogs that you see in front of you can cost anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 a piece, depending on the training that they're getting for the particular veteran and the need that they have. One of the nonprofits that we support is K9 Guardian Service Dog Program. Under the direction of Lisa Bragin, president, she raises German Shepherd puppies from birth, trains the dogs to do necessary tasks to assist disabled veterans. Whether the veteran's disability is related to PTSD, traumatic brain injury, otherwise known as TBI, military sexual trauma, MST, or mobility issues associated with amputations and other physical industries. The service dog is trained to provide a specific skill and set tasks to assist their veteran. Due to your generous donations, please welcome Army Sergeant Danny Casera, retired, a Purple Heart recipient with K9 Vic. His dog is a 7-year-old German Shepherd named Basha. Named Vic. And Basha Casera with K9 Sam, who's a 4-year-old German Shepherd. Let's welcome them, give them a lot of gratefulness for what they do. Thank you, Lisa, and K9 Guardian Service Dog Program. And also, ladies and gentlemen, over here in the end zone,